new spring for the rubber on the inlet. I don't know how far I can push these before they come on, there we go, we're on. Blimey, compare that, there's a rusty one next to it, which has got no life left in it whatsoever. And there are two gaskets. There's that one. Then there's a plastic spacer. I did sand these hubs studs slightly because they were so corroded that you couldn't get anything on, which is why I think I broke the last plastic spacer trying to get it off. Next up, the aluminium spacer, and that slides up there, and then it's followed by our rebuilt carburettor. I've got the new O-ring in there, so we should get a good seal, and that just fits in on top of that. I don't think this needs over torquing either. I think you just need to nip it up so it's nice and firm. I think it relies on the gaskets rather than brute force. Okay, now I'm going to connect up the throttle cable. I'll do this off video because we're a little bit tight for space here. The cable is now connected to the slider in there. The slider actuates up and down, however the cable will need replacing because it's got so much drag on it that it doesn't automatically want to drop back down. You have to manually just nudge it back down. So a new cable will be ordered at some point, providing the engine runs. Now, whilst there's no actual filter element in this at the moment, I am going to connect it to the airbox because I want a truer representation, if we run this, of the sort of resistance, I suppose, of the system. I've got my fuel tank on the bike, only loosely on there. Fitted the new petcock. It's currently in the off position because I need to put fuel in the tank. Then we've got a short section of hose which goes to a ginormous fuel filter because I'm still worried about rubbish in the tank, and then it goes into the carburettor, and we have lots of opportunities for leaks here. So it could leak at the float bowl, it could leak at the unions anywhere along that pipe, it could leak at the joint where the new petcock is joined to the tank. So yeah, lots of opportunity for petrol everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gradually fill it. I think we might go to the reserve setting first because that has a filter on the petcock, and we'll just stress test it. We've got a drip from the carburettor. I don't know if that means that the float's not stopping the needle or whether the levels are set too high. This is proper jury-rigged stuff. The exhaust is kind of cobbled together loosely. The tank isn't leaking, but the float bowl is still dripping, even though I've turned off the fuel. And I think that is because there's still a weight of fuel still in the fuel line heading down to it. But I'm going to try and run it. We'll give it a go, see if she'll fire on choke, and we'll take it from there. I'm going to just try and prime it a little bit without the ignition being on, just with the choke. Fuel filter's interfering with my choke lever. Whoa. Something's happening. Are we good? Are we happy? Are we not happy? Choke is still on. Kicking back a bit. Don't need that. A lot of rattly bits on this bike. Oh, deep breath. Try it again. Maybe shoes aren't good. Come on. It's like it's almost there. Ready. Whew. Deep breaths. It's amazing how hard work kickstarting is. It's almost like it's firing a bit soon, but ooh, almost. Ah. Whew. Come on. Maybe the timing needs to be adjusted just to bring it back a bit. Almost. Might give you a bit of throttle this time. Hadn't occurred to me to do that. Oh, well, it's making noises. Oh, hooray!